Welcome to our exploration of collaboration and teamwork. We've spent several sessions on communication, the foundation. Now we build on that foundation to explore how groups of individuals become high-performing teams. This is where entrepreneurship moves from individual vision to collective achievement. Here's a truth I've observed across decades of working with teams in Silicon Valley, in education, and around the world. Great teams consistently outperform groups of great individuals. The magic isn't in finding the best people, it's in building the conditions where people become their best together. I've watched startups with ordinary talent outperform startups with extraordinary talent. The difference? Team dynamics. How people work together matters more than how talented they are individually. This isn't a soft observation, it's a hard predictor of outcomes. This connects to the design thinking principle we've emphasized. You can't design great products without understanding users, and you can't build great teams without understanding people. The question, what might I be missing about what this person needs to thrive, should guide ever-wide team-building decision. In the AI age, this becomes even more critical. AI can now perform many individual cognitive tasks: research, analysis, drafting, coding. What AI cannot do is form genuine human teams. The collaboration, trust, creative friction, and shared purpose that define great teams remain irreducibly human. Building teams is building your competitive advantage. Today we cover 4 areas: team composition, complementary skills, shared goals, and trust building. These are the foundations of high-performing teams. Part 1, team composition. Who is on your team matters enormously, but not always in the ways people assume. Composition isn't just about credentials, it's about fit, diversity, and potential. Small teams outperform large teams. Amazon's 2-pizza rule, if a team can't be fed by 2 pizzas, it's too big, captures real wisdom. Communication overhead grows exponentially with team size. Decision-making slows. Accountability diffuses. Keep teams as small as possible while still covering necessary functions. The founding team sets the culture. Your earliest team members don't just do work, they establish norms, how they communicate, how they handle conflict, how they make decisions. These patterns become your culture. Choose early team members, not just for skills, but for the culture you want to build. To hire for trajectory, not just current ability. Startups change rapidly. The skills you need in year 3 differ from year 1. Look for people who learn quickly, adapt readily, and grow with the company. Past growth trajectory predicts future growth better than current credentials. Diversity improves outcomes if managed well. Teams with diverse perspectives, backgrounds, and thinking styles make better decisions. They see blind spots, they generate more options, but diversity without inclusion creates friction without benefit. You need both difference and belonging. Avoid hiring in your own image. Founders naturally gravitate toward people who think like them. It's comfortable. Resist this. You need people who challenge your assumptions, cover your weaknesses, and bring perspectives you lack. Discomfort in composition often signals value. Character matters as much as competence. Skills can be developed. Character is largely fixed. Integrity, work ethic, resilience, collaborative spirit. These traits predict team success more than technical ability. On a toxic high performer can destroy an entire team's effectiveness. The no brilliant jerks rule. Some people are extraordinarily talented and extraordinarily difficult. They produce great individual work while machining everyone around them worse. The math rarely works out. The damage to team performance exceeds their individual contribution. Avoid them. Part 2, complementary skills. Great teams aren't collections of similar people. They're combinations of different strengths that together cover what's needed. Map the skills your mission requires. What capabilities does your company need to succeed? Technical development, design, sales, operations, finance, marketing, customer success, list them explicitly, then assess which you have and which you lack. Gaps are hiring priorities. Complement, don't duplicate. If you're strong at vision and weak at execution, find an executor. If you're technical and weak at communication, find a communicator. The goal isn't to find people like you, it's to find people unlike you whose strengths cover your weaknesses. The classic founding team. Many successful startups have a complementary founding pair, the visionary and the operator, the technical founder and the business founder, the product person and the salesperson. These pairs succeed because each covers what the other lacks. Beware of all-alike teams. Teams where everyone has the same background, training, and perspective have dangerous blind spots. All engineers miss market realities. All business people miss technical constraints. All locals miss global opportunities. Variety creates vision. Create T-shaped team members. The ideal team member has deep expertise in one area, the vertical of the T, and broad familiarity with adjacent areas, the horizontal. T-shaped people can contribute in their specialty while collaborating effectively across boundaries. AI as skill complement. Here's a new dimension. AI can now complement human skills directly. AI can provide research capability to a team lacking researchers. AI can provide writing support to a team lacking writers. Consider AI as part of your skill composition, but recognize it doesn't replace human judgment and creativity. Part 3, shared goals. Individual talent with complementary skills still isn't a team, it's a group. What transforms a group into team is shared purpose and aligned goals. Purpose precedes goals. Before specific objectives, teams need to understand why they exist. What are we trying to accomplish in the world? Who are we serving? Why does this matter? Purpose provides the why that gives meaning to the what. Make goals explicit and visible. Implicit goals create misalignment. Each person imagines something slightly different. Explicit, written, visible goals ensure everyone is aiming at the same target. If you can't state your goals clearly, you don't actually have shared goals. Goals should be specific and measurable. Grow the business isn't a goal, it's a direction. Reach $1 ARR by December is a goal. Improve customer experience is vague. Achieve NPS of 50 by Q3 is specific. Measurable goals enable accountability and progress tracking. Limit the number of goals. Teams can't focus on 20 priorities. They have no priorities. 3 to 5 key goals at any time is typically the maximum for maintained focus. If everything is important, nothing is important. Force prioritization. Objectives and key results, pioneered at Intel and popularized by Google, provide a structured approach. Qualitative objectives paired with quantitative key results. Many frameworks exist. The specific system matters less than the discipline of explicit aligned goals. Shared goals in the AI age. As AI accelerates execution, goal setting becomes more important, not less. Teams can now accomplish more faster, but more of what remains a human question. The ability to define worthy goals, align the team around them, and adjust as you learn becomes the critical capability. Part 4, trust building. Skills without trust are just resources. Goals without trust are just words. Trust is the invisible infrastructure that makes teams function. Trust is the foundation of speed. When team members trust each other, they don't second-guess decisions, verify work, or protect themselves politically. They move fast because they believe others are competent and have good intentions. Low-trust teams move slowly through mud. 2 dimensions of trust. We trust competence. I believe you can do this. We trust character. I believe you'll do the right thing. Both matter. A competent person with bad intentions isn't trustworthy. A person with good intentions but poor skills isn't trustworthy either. Trust is built through small moments. Grand gestures don't build trust. Consistent small actions do. Keeping small promises, following up when you said you would, being honest about small problems. Trust accumulates through thousands of micro interactions. Vulnerability enables trust. Patrick Lencioni's insight. Trust requires vulnerability. Team members must be able to admit mistakes, ask for help, acknowledge weaknesses. If vulnerability is punished, trust cannot form. The leader must model vulnerability first. Trust requires reliability. People trust those who do what they say they'll do. Every kept commitment builds trust. Every broken promise erodes it. Be careful what you commit to, then be relentless about following through. Trust requires honesty. People trust those who tell them the truth, especially difficult truths. Candid feedback, even when uncomfortable, builds trust. Sugarcoating, avoiding hard conversations, and spinning bad news destroys it. Trust is lost faster than it's built. Trust accumulates slowly through consistent positive behavior and can be destroyed instantly through betrayal, dishonesty, or incompetence. Protect the trust you've built. It's your most valuable team asset. Trust in human-AI collaboration. Here's an emerging question. How do teams build appropriate trust with AI tools? When should you trust AI output, and when should you verify? Teams need to develop shared norms for human-AI trust, trusting AI where it excels, questioning it where it struggles. Let me share what I've learned about team building from working with educational technology teams across 40 countries. The best teams I've seen share something beyond skills and goals. They genuinely care about each other's success. This isn't sentimentality, it's competitive advantage. When team members care about each other, they help proactively, share information freely, and sacrifice for collective success. When they don't care, they optimize individually even when it hurts the team. You can't mandate caring, but you can hire for it, model it, and recognize it. In my own research programs, I've watched teams with modest resources outperform well-funded teams through sheer collaboration quality. A team in rural Ghana with minimal internet and basic smartphones achieved research outcomes that surprised well-resourced competitors because they trusted each other completely and worked as genuine partners. Resources to deepen your learning. The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni is the classic on-team dynamics. Team of Teams by Stanley McChrystal offers lessons from military collaboration. The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle examines what high-performing groups do differently. For this module, you will practice inquiry-based learning through the SMILE platform. Your assessment has 3 parts that develop your critical thinking and collaborative skills around building high-performing teams. Part 1, post 3 questions. Create and post 3 critical thinking and creative questions related to team building. Your questions should explore tensions between individual excellence and team performance, how AI changes team composition decisions, or how trust is built across different cultural and organizational contexts. Part 2, evaluate 3 peer questions. Review and evaluate 3 questions posted by your peers. Rate them based on practical applicability for founders, insight into human dynamics, consideration of diverse contexts, and potential to generate meaningful discussion about what makes teams thrive. Part 3, comment on 3 peer questions. Select 3 peer questions and contribute substantive comments. Share experiences with team dynamics. Explore how different industries approach team building differently, or analyze what separates good teams from great teams. Your comments should advance the collective understanding of high-performing teams. Sample questions to guide your thinking. The module argues that brilliant jerks damage team performance, more than they contribute individually. But what about industries or situations where individual technical genius truly is irreplaceable? How should founders weigh this trade-off when the brilliant jerk has skills no one else can provide? Question 2. If AI can now serve as a skill complement for teams lacking certain capabilities, how should startups decide when to hire a human versus rely on AI tools? And what are the risks of over-relying on AI to fill human skill gaps? Question 3. Trust is described as being lost faster than it's built. But in fast-moving startups where mistakes are inevitable, how can teams create cultures where trust survives the failures that are necessary for learning and innovation? Building a high-performing team is the highest leverage activity you can undertake as a founder. Products can be copied, strategies can be imitated, but a genuinely high-performing team, that's an advantage that compounds over time and resists replication.